So Manchester United versus Chelsea in the Premier League. And let's be honest, for United, if they have any chance of reaching the top four and the Champions League for next season, if they lose this game, it's definitely over as far as I'm concerned. And given what they've done in recent games, you would have to predict that Chelsea are going to win this. In terms of the players, actually, as a Manchester United fan, I don't think they played that badly against Arsenal. I actually think the news that Erik ten Hag will be their new manager has sort of lifted them in a way, because they know he'll be watching from afar and they need to impress on the club and him that there's something there within them that means they should be staying at the club long term. Do you think Erik ten Hag's arrival and the idea that he might be looking over and thinking about his team for next season will spur Manchester United on?
Not really, if I'm honest. When we talk about that, it all makes sense. It all makes logical sense that you should see that upturn. And I think you're right. I think in the second half of that game, Man United were unfortunate. Bruno scores that penalty. All of a sudden, it's 2-2. And that game could have been very, very different. They look far better, having Ronaldo, of course, back in the side. But I don't think they're capable of making a statement. I honestly don't think they're capable. I think it's been tended to that much of... it's just mush now, really, this Man United team in terms of how they want to set up and play. They're a little bit lost. I think Scott McTominay's comments afterwards were very interesting. Even he himself, it felt like he had the availability to go and just say what he wanted. And he said himself, there are a lot of problems here. It's very complicated, and alluded to the fact that there were problems in the dressing room as well, with, some players out of contract soon. So it's a real mess for them. And losing 3 of the last 4 is obviously not going to help with that as well. And this is another tough game. Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, very, very difficult for them. Do you see it as a possibility that Man United could really step up in this game, or step up between now and the end of the season?
I mean, the players seem to be trying their absolute hardest to be a little bit more aggressive with their play, try and take control of the match a little bit more, try and be just a little bit more positive. But unfortunately, defensively, they are all over the place. Ralf Rangnick really hasn't improved the team. I think he thought he could show everyone finally at a big club what a good manager he is, and he's fallen flat on his face. And look, I don't see these players as being many of the Manchester United players for too much longer.
Right then, Hugh, answer me this. We know it's bad, but how bad? Is this the worst Man United side ever in the Premier League? Answer that question for me. It's an easy one, right?
It's a very easy one. I mean, they are without question. The funny thing is, it isn't just about talent that makes them the worst Manchester United side in Premier League history, actually. With all due respect to those players, I know it must take a lot of character and strength of mind to become a Premier League player and go to a club like Manchester United, but they have shrunk whilst they've been there. They have shown that they have a real lack of leadership within that squad, a real lack of desire and heart within that squad. I think they've rolled over in too many matches. So many people say they have a talented squad, and maybe they do, but that's an indication of how poor the team is, because even those with talent haven't been able to impress that upon the Premier League, because something is missing. It's difficult to blame just the players, but I think when you have to talk about the squad and what they've done when they've gone over the white line, it hasn't been good enough. You can blame the club if you like, but some of those players have to take responsibility too.
Yeah, I totally agree. A lack of gumption as well, a lack of a plan. And this is so ironic. They've possibly got the greatest player of all time in their team, and they're the worst team ever in the Premier League era as Manchester United. I look at the table, and I think what's damning as well is Burnley, who could easily get relegated, have conceded 6 goals less than Manchester United this season, will probably go to the end of the season having conceded less goals, a team that's got relegated, than the mighty Manchester United. It's a bad time for the Reds. On to this fixture then, Manchester United against Chelsea. Manchester United actually unbeaten in the last 8 home games against Chelsea. But Chelsea have been very good away from home. Only Man City have secured more points away from home this season. I think the big thing here for me is, does Romelu Lukaku play? If he plays, I give Man United a chance. If he doesn't, I think if they play Timo Werner and Havertz, utilise all that movement, I think that will really, really hurt this Man United side. And I think they'll put an end to that great run that Man United have at home against them. But it will come down to that selection. And they need to start playing Romelu Lukaku sooner or later. They're out of the Champions League. So I wonder if this might be a game that they might give him another run. Showed good energy in the game against West Ham. But yeah, I'm intrigued. I think there's a big decision to make there up top. But with that movement, with how fantastic Mason Mount has been, I would make him the sort of the fulcrum of the side, get him on the ball in good areas. And I think Chelsea might be that little bit too strong for a very fragile Manchester United right now. Hugh, what's your prediction for this one?
Yeah, well, I totally disagree with the idea that Romelu Lukaku in this game might hold Chelsea back a little bit, actually. If you look how Manchester United have defended recently, Romelu Lukaku going back to Old Trafford in front of those fans who criticised him, who gave him a little chip on his shoulder. He's not playing well at the moment, but he'd be relishing the idea of going there, bullying those centre-backs who, listen, let's be honest, all of those defenders at Manchester United, totally out of sorts, no confidence at the moment. I think if you're Lukaku, honestly, your eyes are wide and you're hoping for at least 2 goals in this game. If the rest of the Chelsea team functions, the main thing for me is that they keep high quality possession and they control the game. And I think if Chelsea do that, Manchester United do not have a hope. If they make it a little bit of a crazy game, open end to end, you know what it's like Thursday night under the lights. Certainly Manchester United have been familiar with that of late. Then just about anything can happen, right? But I have to say, look, Manchester United played okay at the weekend against Arsenal. Had that penalty gone in, things could have gone in their favour. I still don't think if the best version of Chelsea show up, they have got any chance. I really don't. You see how Norwich played against Manchester United at Old Trafford, and you actually have to say, with all due respect, they really should have got something out of the game if it wasn't for Cristiano Ronaldo's brilliance. So that's Norwich City. Chelsea should be very comfortable in this game, as sad as it is to say as a Manchester United fan.
Hi guys, James Allcott here from ESPN's Football Forecast. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and you want to check out more, make sure you subscribe to ESPN UK.